Hello. The book that we'll be reading today is Daisy Head Maisie. This is the story of young Maisie McGoo and the daisy that grew from the top of her head. Dr. Seuss fans will laugh and cry, smile and sigh as they follow the fate of Daisy Head Maisie, from obscurity to fame and fortune, from classroom to center stage and back to the best place of all, home. Daisy Head Maisie. Dr. Seuss. It's hard to believe such a thing could be true, and I hope such a thing never happens to you. But it happens, the word say, to poor Maisie McGoo. And it happened like this. I'm introducing the story. She was sitting one day at a desk in her school in her usual way when she felt a small twitch on top of her head. So Maisie looked up and she almost dropped dead. Something particular was going on there. A daisy was sprouting right out of her head. The daisy she was reading, and then eventually a daisy came. Behind her was sitting young Herman Butch Strudel. This looks like a daisy up here on her noodle. It doesn't make sense why it couldn't be so. A noodle's no place for a daisy to grow. Then up spoke another boy, Einstein Van Tass, the brightest young man in the whole of the class. It's a very odd place to be sprouting a daisy, but nevertheless, one is growing on Maisie. Hey, look it, cried Butch, right here in this room. Daisy Head Maisie, she's bursting in bloom. Yeah, look, everybody's noticing her hair. Miss Snitcher the teacher came rushing up quick. Such nonsense, some child here is playing a trick. Which one of you boys stuck that thing in her hair? You know that Daisy could never grow there. But teacher, said Butch, I saw the thing rise right out of her head with my very own eyes. Just give it a yank if you think I tell lies. The teacher looking at him. No wonder. But Miss Snitcher had heard quite enough of this talk. Maisie, hold still. Let me give that stalk. Ouch, hollered Maisie. Quit yanking, Butch said. You're giving her pains. I'll bet that those roots go down to her brains. The kids in the class started shouting like crazy. Daisy Head, Daisy Head, Daisy Head Maisie. Children, be quiet. Good grief in the last. Miss Snitcher was shocked by the noise in her class. I've taught in this room 20 years, maybe more, but I've never seen anything like this before. I'll have to report it. You'll just have to come to the principal's office and show Mr. Grum. The teacher tried to pull it out, but then took her to see the principal. Now the principal, good Mr. Gregory Grum, was a nice wise man, just as smart as they come. He knew more than anyone else in this nation about long division and multiplication. He knew all the answers, why oceans are deep, why skies are so high, and why mountains are steep. He should have the answer to the theme on Maisie. My word, he declared, is a genuine daisy. I've seen them quite often in fields grow wild, but I've never before on the head of a child. Now what in the world ever made this thing sprout? I have no idea, but I'm going to find out. You're talking to the principal? You see the cat in the hat in the back there? It says daisies grow on the land. They grow between rocks. They grow also in sand. It mentions right here they can grow in a pot, but mention the head of a girl it does not. Daisy, it says sometimes grow in Alaska, also Missouri, Rhode Island, and Nebraska. They grow in Japan and in Spain and Peru. In India, France, and in Idaho too. They grow in South Boston and also in Rome. But why should they grow on this little girl's dome? Couldn't figure it out. Say, look at it, said Maisie. It's wilting, it's drooping. How wonderful, Maisie. It soon will be dead. You'll be rid of that daisy. In just a few minutes, our troubles will pass, declared Mr. Grum. Take her back to class. See, another scene, the daisy like it was dying, and they got happy, thought the problem was over. And the principal saw a most terrible sight. The daisy was dying, and that was all right. But that daisy was part of poor Maisie McGoo, and Maisie was starting to wilt away too. Teacher, said Grum, you know what I think? They are both going to die. Hurry, bring them a drink. That daisy, that girl's the worst problem in town. You take her away and you make her lie down. You lock her up tight in that room down the hall. There are quite a few numbers that I've got to call. As the flower was getting down, she was getting down too, so they could give her water. Get Maisie's parents on the end of the line. I need them here quickly while there is still time. On the phone, Maisie's mom asked, what's all the fuss? Then, goodness to Bessie, I'll catch the next bus. A call to the shoe store reached Mr. McGoo. He answered while doing a customer's shoe. Yes, this is, oh no, I really must go. See her parents? The principal called her parents and told her. A doctor should see her, the principal said, and an expert on plants like the one on her hair. So he called Dr. Einsbart, who said, what a trick. My stethoscope packed, I'll be there in a tick. Wait, doc, said his patient, I'll come along too. My brother's a vet and he knows this McGoo. When he heard Fitch the florist grab for his shears, I'll be there just as soon as my truck can shift gears. There's the doctor, that's what we're talking to, and then the florist. Meanwhile, poor Maisie lay down on a couch. The daisy slumped down on its leaves in a slouch. But the window was open because it was warm, and the sweet-smelling daisy attracted a swarm of bees. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Oh no. And she was laying there. The bees started to come. No, they chased her. What's she gonna do? The faster she ran, the faster they flew. So Maisie kept running. What else could she do? She attempted to hide behind Officer Thatcher, who cupped out his hat like a bumblebee catcher. The bees took his hat. Thatcher said, "I'm no fool," and ran after Maisie back to the school. They're running away. Look at the policeman caught the bees in his hat. Principal Grum didn't know what to do. "It's worse," cried Miss Stitcher, "much worse than we feared. The daisy and Maisie have both disappeared." Behind her came charging Mr. Magoo, chased by a customer chasing his shoe. Fitz the florist, Dr. Ironsbart, too. Dr. Ironsbart patient and Mrs. Magoo. All the people came. All in the principal's office. Then, through the window with Officer Thatcher, who slammed the pane shut so the bees couldn't catch her, jumped Maisie Magoo to the floor in a splatter, with the daisy still there, except taller and fatter. The policeman closed the door so the bees couldn't get inside, but her flower got bigger. Everybody looking at her. "My poor little daughter, the daisy is true. I'm going to faint," cried Mrs. Magoo. "Tut tut," said the florist. "There's no need for tears. Just because there's a daisy between her two ears, I'll snip it right off with my sharp pruning shears. She's my patient, don't touch her. You must stand apart. We have to have room," said Doc Icebart. "I think that Maisie and her plant could help me get a research grant." Everybody is talking about her situation. What are they going to do? Then the door opened wide and the mayor stepped inside. At the meeting and greeting, there was none to compare. He was the best at long speeches, chock full of hot air. "I promise my friends that if I'm re-elected, this daisy on Maisie will be disconnected. The law of our fathers is simple and sound. Daisies belong and should stay in the ground. The rest are illegal. We'll bar them from town." Get a mayor talking. From the back came a voice, sometimes loud, sometimes slick, of a wheeler and dealer who knew every trick. "I'm Finagle, the agent. You've heard of me, I'm sure. I represent young what's-his-name and others now on tour. But Maisie, you're so special. Please let me shake your hand. Your talent is a wondrous thing, unique in all the land. Daisy had Maisie spell out in the bright light. We'll draw kids in the day and parents at night. Daisy had Maisie, you got quite an act. Just stick with me, kid, and sign this contract. Your flower needs to sign too. You got a businessman trying to use her. Her mother said, Maisie, don't be a fool, and the principal begged her not to leave school. But Maisie didn't stop to blink. She signed her name in thick proof ink, and then Daisy signed too. Daisy Head Fever was gripping the nation. It had quickly become a worldwide sensation. She signed that contract. And then she started to become popular. Daisy had burgers and Daisy had drinks. Daisy had sinks, Daisy had buttons, and Daisy had bows. Maisie was famous, the star of her shows. Fame had knocked on Maisie's door. Now she had it all and more piles of money stacked in tins. And she got famous. But what is money without friends? A dream had led her far astray. That was the price she had to pay. Maisie McGill ran night and day, nowhere to go, nowhere to stay. Because she was sure that everyone must have written her off in total disgust. Over and over again in her head, these are the words that poor Maisie said. I can never go home. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. She gave away her fame and started wondering if she could actually go home. Nobody loved her? Poor Maisie McGoo. It's hard to believe such a thing could be true. And maybe that's why when this Daisy above, when Maisie below began talking of love, well, you know about daisies. When love is in doubt, the job of a daisy is try and find out. They love her not. They love her, they love her not. You seen that when daisies people try to figure out? And the daisy started to pluck itself. Don't worry, Maisie. They love you. They love me. So Daisy plucked this last one in front of her. They loved her. And then afterwards, the daisy went away. Because all her family was still there missing her and loving her. Well, that's how it all happened. The thing went away. And Maisie McGoo is quite happy today. Back at her studies and doing just great. And all her subjects in room number 8. And concerning that daisy, you know that it never grew out of the top of her head ever again. Well, it practically never popped up there again, except expecting occasionally, just now and then. In the story, look, oh no, it popped up in her head again. And after all, I'm getting used to it. The end.